So we've all had the moments where we're just chilling watching anime, and like the anime gets to a certain part, maybe it's showing fan service or something like that, and somebody just happens to walk inside your room. And depending on who that person is, you might get a certain reaction. So what I want to do is talk about anime that you should not watch in front of your mom. And trust me, there's a lot, because you know there's a lot of wild anime, but just know we're going to talk about a few different ones. Yeah, I'm not going to focus on everything that's fan service, but just know there's a lot of fan service anime you don't want your mom walking in on, because there's a lot of wild moments. But let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to tell you right now is one out of all the ones on this list, do not watch it in front of your mom, because it's a wild anime and she's going to look at you like, what are you watching? And it's going to be hard to explain. And that is YOSUGA no SORA. Now, if you've seen this anime, you know how wild this anime is. It's one of the wildest like anime of all time, because it technically should be an H anime because some of the stuff that it shows. And also you should know this has, you know, incest, wincest, you know, it's one of those type of anime. And also you should know that it's based off of visual novels, and you know a lot of visual novels when they get made into animes are always wild. But let's get into this. So this follows two twins named Haru and Sora, and they move to a rural town out in the country. And what happens is the sister starts to develop feelings for the brother. But before all that, just know there's a lot of wild stuff, because you know, like I said, it's based off a visual novel, so you know visual novels are wild. And this one is like a dating visual novel, so you should know already what's about to happen. So the main character, Haru, he's basically gonna go through all the girls in the town that they show, and just know he's gonna smash them all, and they're gonna show it. Hey, and you can watch this on Crunchyroll, and it's uncensored too on Crunchyroll. That's the wild thing. So yeah, there's that. But the wildest thing in this whole thing is a hallway scene. So in the hallway, just know that Haru's gonna be piping down Sora in the hallway, and two of their classmates are gonna walk in on them and see them. But yeah, it's wild. Like I said, this is one you do not want to watch in front of your mom. Like, please do not watch this one. Don't even watch this one at all unless you're really curious, because you're gonna be mad you even watched this. Because somebody told me to watch this and I watched, and I was like, dog, what am I watching? Because like I said, it's basically an H anime, and it's on Crunchyroll, and it's uncensored too. So yeah, it's wild. Let's get to the next one. Now the next one is Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is self-explanatory. You know why I should say you should not watch this in front of your mom. Especially if you're watching episode 1, because of the goblins laying down something in the first episode in a very wild way. And then it is a reoccurring thing that kind of almost happens again. Yes, Goblin Slayer is a good anime, but just know it has a lot of wild scenes with goblins and women. We'll just say that. And that's one reason why I would say you don't want to watch this. But I mean, like, around your mom. But you can watch Goblin Slayer, because Goblin Slayer is really good. But like I said, you know, them certain scenes, they can, especially in that episode 1, if you just happen to be watching that and your mom walks in, she's gonna be like, oh, what are you watching, type of thing. But yeah, Goblin Slayer is one of the ones that's like, yeah, you can watch it, but you gotta watch when you're watching it, because you don't want nobody to walk in on you, when, especially on that first episode, or even in another few later episodes when they kind of talk about stuff or they show stuff. So you kind of don't want that either. But let's get into the next one. Now, the next one is To Love Ru. So we all know about To Love Ru. It's a OG harem fan service anime. We all know about that. And if you don't know anything about it, if you've never seen To Love Ru, it basically follows this main character named Yuji, and he's a normal high school boy, and like he wants to confess to his crush that he's liked since middle school. But his plan is ruined when a naked girl crash lands into his bedroom, and we find out that she's an alien. We find out she's an alien princess. But yeah, To Love Ru is the reason why I say To Love Ru is one you don't want to watch in front of your parents, because there's a lot of wild scenes, especially as we get past the first season and get to the darkness type of stuff. And we meet Momo and all the other sisters and all the other characters, because trust me, there's a lot of different girls that get introduced, and there's a lot of wild scene. The popsicle scene alone is one that I would be like, yeah, you don't want to watch this in front of your mom, because I'm like, the way we're to say that he's feeding the popsicle to Momo is kind of wild. I'll just say that, or to the girl, it's kind of wild. So yeah, this is one why I would say you don't want to watch, because it's very wild at times, but it's a really good one. But just don't watch it in front of your mom, because like I said, there's a lot of scenes, a lot of questionable scenes that are very wild, and you're like, how did they get away with this? Because like what they're doing. But yeah, let's go to the next one. The next one is School Days. Please do not watch this in front of your mom. Don't even watch this at all. You know why? Because you're going to hate yourself. Your mom's going to hate you for even wanting to watch this. Because if you know School Days, you know it follows Makoto. This is another visual novel, so you know it's going to be wild. And it follows Makoto as he basically dates these different women and basically pipes down these different women because of him being hella toxic. And if you know the story of School Days, it gets very wild at a certain point because of certain things that happen. Cheating, lying, other women wanting to find out how good it is type of thing. And you're going to hate every single character in this anime because everybody in this anime is not shit. And yeah, and that's why you kind of don't want to watch this one, because if you happen to walk, let's say your mom happens to walk in and she's wondering like what you're watching, and then she gets invested into this, and then she's going to be like, why did you make me watch this? That's why School Days is on this list. And honestly, you should not watch it yourself because you're going to hate it. But like I said, it's a very good, fun ride, but you're also going to hate the anime towards the end of the show anyway. But just know, watching all them, it's going to be a very inciting watch, because like you're wondering like what's going to happen next, but then you're going to be mad and disappointed at the end because of all the stuff that happens and how wild this anime is. But hey, I'll tell you this, it's still a good watch. Like, even though people hate on it, it kind of still is in my opinion, even though there's some wild stuff in it. But let's get into the next one. Now, the next one is one of my favorite isekais, and that's Konosuba. And you're asking, why would Konosuba be one I wouldn't want to watch around my mom? You know why? One is, let's say she walks on the scene when Aqua's just showing her ass, because, you know, Aqua's not wearing no underwear. So yeah, that's why. And then also, what about a scene when Cosmo's literally stealing girls' underwear and he's going like this, moving around? So yeah, Konosuba has a lot of questionable stuff. Or you have the scene when like Yu's getting like that. Yeah, there's so many different scenes in here. Or Wiz, just because, you know, some of the assets that are shown, and some of the times how they show it off, so that Konosuba could sometimes be one you don't want to watch in front of your parents, even though Konosuba's like, you know, the fan service is like super low in it, even though it does have a lot, but not a lot, you know. But it's still one of the ones you don't want to watch around her, because she might be like, dog, what are you watching? And look at you questionable. Just saying, it could. But so the next one we're going to talk about is the Fruits of GRISAIA, but especially the Eden of GRISAIA, which is like the second season or whatever. And the reason why I want to focus on that part is because this is like very wild. But if you've never seen the Fruits of GRISAIA, basically it follows this guy named Yuji, and he's a transfer student. He's going to transfer to this new school, and like when he gets to the school, he realizes there's only 5 girls there, and he's the only guy. And what he's going to find out through the principal is that each of these girls have some type of like past trauma or something like that, and he's going to have to get to know them slowly, that he eventually like helps them out, stuff like that. But and you also find out like he's like a crazy sniper too, and like his personality is one of them, like, you know, basic personalities where like he's a super cool person that's a sniper. Like he has like a reason why he acts the way he is or whatever. But yeah, the reason why I want to say the Eden part is because in that one we learn about one of the characters, and so basically what we learn is that when they're taking a trip like after like their middle school game or going to a game or whatever, their bus like crashes in the woods, and as they're there we see like what happens with human instincts, like when kind of in a way of like when you're lost and like you run out of food and stuff like that, and how people turn crazy. There's a lot of wild stuff. There's like stuff of people like having magnets on it, like they're getting infected, stuff like that. There's also them eating, we'll say, deer meat, but when certain people die, they disappear and they somehow get deer meat, we'll say that. And then also there's a wild scene with a teacher and a student in the woods, and the teacher, we can just say the teacher's doing something to the student, and the students, and we're just say they both are doing something. If you know, you know. And it's a very wild scene. So that's why I would say this is one you don't want to watch in front of your mom, especially when you get to that season, because that season gets wild. Like I said, in the woods, it's a very wild scene. It's like a top 10 wildest scenes like in anime because of what is happening, and like it's wild that they even do that. But let's get to the next one. Now the next one is My Dress Up Darling. Yes, I know My Dress Up Darling is a very wholesome anime, but you know at times the fan service can be there. And let's just say your mom just happens to walk in when Marin is showing her assets, or they're showing other characters. It's one of these ones where like, yeah, it is very wholesome, but at times there's a lot of fan service, and let's just say your mom just happens to walk in on you and sees this, and she's wondering, what are you watching? And then you're looking at her like, dog, you gotta explain like, this is just something that happens. But My Dress Up Darling, like I said, My Dress Up Darling is fine. We all know My Dress Up Darling. If you don't know, if you haven't seen it yet, you need to watch it. It's a really wholesome anime. It does have a little bit of fan service, but it's really wholesome, and it does teach you a message that basically you need to basically be yourself, like what you like, don't care what anybody says, and just do what you like, basically, type of thing. It's one of those, because you just get passionate. If you're passionate about something, just do it and express it, and don't care what other people say about it, type of thing. That's the one thing I like about it. But so the last one we'll talk about in this video is Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. Now, if you've never seen this one, it's pretty wild. There's a lot, like, just know that girls turn into weapons, and other girls use those weapons to fight each other and other things. But let's get into this. So in this world, you have this new virus called the armored virus, and it only affects a certain population of women. And when these women are affected by that, or even girls, they're sent to this island that's like a deserted island to live on, and they basically have to live there. They have like their own society there or whatever, but people are sent there as soon as they're affected with this virus. And the virus has like 2 side effects. So The first one is there's certain girls that they get turned into weapons if they get turned on by the other girl. I just say that, and the other girl is the one that controls the weapons. Yeah, there's a lot of cool action, but just know the reason why I say you can't watch this around your mom is mainly because how they get turned into the weapons, because they basically have to have a gasm. I call it a weapon gasm, because the girl has to get turned on basically to turn into a weapon. Yeah, that's why I say you don't want to watch this, because a lot of the times when they're doing it, it's wild what they do, and they turn into weapons. But it's an okay, interesting anime. But yeah, these are some of the anime I say you do not want to watch around your mom. Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments, because I'll make another part, and we can keep this as a thing if people really enjoy it. Because like I said, I'll enjoy talking about these, because like I said, there's a lot of wild anime that I'd be like, dog, you don't want to watch around your parents. Like I said, I've watched some where I've had to pause it when they came in because it was about to be at a very wild scene, and I was like, I can't watch this in front of them. But yeah, let me know what wild anime I should talk about next, that ones that you shouldn't watch around your mom, and let me know, have you watched any of these with your mom or any other sibling or whatever. But yeah, if you're new, why not subscribe? If you enjoyed the video, why not subscribe? If you liked the video, why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe, you really enjoyed. But yeah, just let me know if you want me to make this a series. We can. And like I said, I got a new little setup just for this series. Right here, we'll probably show the NBA jerseys, but you know, all the other stuff will be like the regular setup. But just let me know how you feel about this series though. But yeah, and just know from that poll, I will be posting all them videos this month though. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.